Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Can you hear me first? Let's establish that right off so that I know right away. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's a little later. Hello, Tracy Wu. How are you? I am so glad you're here. That's so sweet. So you can hear? Let's see. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Today's show is sponsored by Silly Steel Structures, and you can contact us for your needs for steel structures, and you can visit us at the website, and the information is below. Thank you, Tracy Wu. It's a 5-5. I'm starting to learn your codes, okay, everyone? So tonight I have lots of notes. I have lots of tabs opened, okay? We're going to have a little fun. I would like to ask you, could I please share some hopefulness? Is that allowed? Is it still allowed? Can I share hope? Just let me know in the comments if it's okay to share hope. I know some people don't like hope. They call it hopium. But I just want to find out if everybody's okay. Hello? Hello, Perfect Love Nourishment Sessions. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Raylene. Hello, Everett. I want to thank you all. I'll jump right in because I have a lot to share. And this is actually going to be a conversation that we could have ongoing, okay? So if you would allow me to take you on what I call a Jenny tour, okay? A person that I knew, a friend, nicknamed my last Instagram page the Jenny tour. It got blasted away. Thank you, censorship. Okay, so I don't have it anymore. But anyway, let's see. Hopium incoming. You're okay with it, Tracy? I just hope you are. Okay. So today's show is called Battle of the Builders. Did you kind of know what I might have been hinting at? If I was hinting, just let me know. Battle of the Builders, right? And his time is very short. Do you feel that his time is short? Do you know who I'm talking about when I say his time is short? Yeah, his time is short. And I want to just let you know that right off the bat, okay? So we're going to go on a Jenny tour around Philadelphia. Isn't that special? If I have any Philly Johns in the chatmosphere, please let us know that you are from Philadelphia. So you will be kind of extra fact checkers, okay? You're my fact checking Johns. If I say anything wrong, or any of you historian fact checkers, please, I welcome you to fact check me, okay? But especially you Philly people, okay? Because we're gonna go on a little Philly trip, okay? So I'm going to jump right in, and then I'll jump into the comments, but I don't want it to be too long. I may have to make this a part 2. We'll see. You just let me know. Get your snacks together, okay? Philly's in the house. There you are. Brenda is a John, okay? Brenda, we'll have to teach them what John is, but I think some of them, they know what it is. A John is a Philly person. If it's a anything. You all are Johns, okay? But Brenda, especially, if you have to fill in the chatmosphere as I go through a tour of Philadelphia, please be my guest. Please be our guest. Let me make the box a little bigger, okay? All right, so let's start with some topics right here. His time is short. Now, what started this, I would call it a little bit of a journey for me. Hey, family, I took another red pill, okay? I don't know. I didn't know there were many more to take, okay? But yeah, I took another red pill and I tumbled down another rabbit hole. I know people are sick of rabbit holes. You've had it with the rabbit holes, right? Well, this one was I had an appointment, okay? at this time to tumble down this rabbit hole. And I am, I tell you, so renewed in my understanding of some things. It was like, when you're putting a puzzle together and you find a few puzzle pieces that somebody tried to hide from you. So you found them. Okay. So I'm just saying, it started with me pondering the Museum of Art in Philadelphia. Has anybody traveled to Philadelphia and experienced this amazing architectural, I don't know what you want to call it. It is a wonder of the world, okay? Definitely a wonder of the modern world. So it is the Art Museum of Philadelphia. If you are into architecture and you want to tell us what is this type of architecture, I wasn't going to get into all the, the worldly terms that we had to learn in school, because I'm not that interested in giving them a whole lot of, I don't know, power anymore. It's not so important that I sound like I know architecture, okay? Because everything I learned has been a lie just about. So I stand corrected all the time. I went to the Philadelphia Public Schools, okay? There you go, if you were wondering what was wrong with me. I graduated from the Philadelphia public school system, okay? So there you are, bam. Scott, hello, how are you? Jen, I have not caught you in so long. Great to see you. And oh, you are so sweet. Thank you, Scott. I'm glad you're here. So I have been so privileged and blessed to live in a city that has so many architectural structures like this. And I'm not going to tiptoe around this subject. I happen to have some cognitive dissonance when it comes to, thank you, Arthur. You are my people. If you are the mud flood people, let yourselves be known. If you are the mud flood people, if you are the Tartarian people, let yourselves be known, because I just fell down that rabbit hole. Okay. So I am mind blown right now. I'm really like, I have to tell you, this is so amazing to me, because a lot of stuff makes sense, a lot more sense. And I'll explain it as we go along talking. So Arthur is asking, so are you talking about Tartarian architecture and the free energy that can be produced by these structures? That is exactly what I am talking about, Arthur. And I know that this is probably a topic that gets, maybe, I don't know, how do people respond to this topic? Because for me, I heard about the mud floods, but I wasn't ready to really open my mind up to it. And, it's with anything, and I think it's humbling to us if we've tried to so-called red pill people that we know and love, and they're not ready yet for the information. There's hope, because I wasn't ready for this Tartarian mud flood. I had cognitive dissonance. So it was my appointed time to delve into this and to begin to understand it. And I'm very, very excited about it. If I can inspire you all to go on your own research journey into the Tartarian architecture, as they call it, the old world technology, I would encourage you to do this. In fact, my daughter, now is starting to make sense. My daughter in high school, she was into the steampunk. Has anybody here been into the whole steampunk thing? Because I joined her just trying to, have something in common, because she was rolling her eyes at me a lot in high school. So, when she got into the steampunk, I was like, oh my God, I collected all these boards on Pinterest with all the steampunk stuff. And she was just really into it, her and her friends. Okay. So I kind of think of steampunk when I think of kind of this subject matter. So let's see. I am going to jump right on in. Hey, Nixon. Good evening. Nixon is greeting all of us. Okay, so The Art Museum of Philadelphia, if you're just joining, is the structure on the screen right here. And as a child growing up in Philadelphia, I had to go to many school trips to this art museum. And it was always such a powerful piece of architecture to behold. I mean, as a little child, can you imagine walking up to this this is a behemoth, okay, of a structure. So as a little child, and your scale of just height and everything, this was breathtaking in its beauty, okay, in its splendor. And I was always artsy, and I appreciated architecture. I thought I wanted to be an architect when I was younger, but this particular building is, they have told us in our controlled school system, and we can kind of use the terms, but what I'm saying is I'm beginning to take the power away from all of this programming. But you know, they would say that this is what classical Greek, what would you call it? It's sort of like a mesh between a lot of different, like, what do you say, like classical Greek. When you see these kind of columns, you think of, you know, Greek and Roman architecture. But at this time, I am putting everything on the table to reconsider. I don't know about you, but I really am putting everything on the table. So to think that we have structures like this, like I shared on a post, if we're connected on social media, everybody that comes to Philadelphia as a tourist, they want to see the art museum, right? But not all of them want to see the art museum, if you know what I mean. I will occasionally go to the art museum just to have a few kikis, you know, and laugh at the funny, you know, kind of circus going on outside this amazing structure. It's a show, you know, you get to see the programming that we're under, okay? So what you'll see is you'll see Ubers, you'll see cabs drive up to the front, and doors will open and people will bolt out and they'll start running up the stairs of this amazing building. Okay, they will run and they hear the music. You know the music. What is the music? I want to see who knows the music that they hear when they're running up the stairs. No Philly people, that's cheating. Who knows the music, the soundtrack that's playing when they bolt out of the cars and they start running, running, running? You're close. Who knows? Yeah. They hear the Rocky theme. Dun, 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 and they get to the top. I got to the top. I did this. Okay. Yes, I am so goofy. And you do the Rocky. You do the Rocky. That's right. You think of Rocky. Okay. So I'm going to be a little bit of a throwing some water on the parade here. But Rocky is a far cry from what this amazing structure should bring to mind. But this shows you what our system of programming, and I've done it. I'm not trying to act like I'm some on high scholar, okay? I'm waking up like almost every day to things, okay? But what I'm saying is this matrix has basically programmed and dumbed people down to the point that they would come from overseas, even some people, and they want to see the art museum because of Rocky, because Rocky trained and ran up the steps. Adrian, Adrian. And they're taking pictures. They're all over, you know, and they don't go inside to see what's inside this building. No, they just came to run up the stairs and get to the top if they made it to the top. Because those stairs, that's quite a workout for anybody who's done it. So there is a Rocky statue somewhere around the building. I've never paid attention to it, but people go and take pictures of it. But all that to say, This building is beyond amazing. There are no words really to describe the magnificence of this building. As many buildings we're going to talk about, okay? But I'm focused on Philadelphia for now, okay? I thought I'd just do this from that Philadelphia flavor, okay? So this amazing, I see a lot of my architects. What are you all saying? Monica is saying those columns are called Corinthian columns. Okay, let's see, Adrian. Right there you go, Adrian. That's what they come and say, Adrian. So let's see, Eye of the Tiger. There you are. See, we can all bring up Rocky references. Everybody knows. Yes. So let's see, Greco-Roman. Lori says yes. Jack, hi Jack. You say like Athens, Greece. Yes, there you are. And let's see, Sequoia.earth, welcome to the next layer of the matrix. Thank you very much. Architecture doesn't lie and will tell its story to those ready. There is the key, to those ready and able to listen. Thank you very much. And I want to thank a brother. He used to join us, and that's Joseph O'Sullivan. It was a great Irishman that opened my eyes to this, and he's over in Ireland. So that shows the amazing connection that we have. He just happened to say the right thing to me, and it began me opening up to this subject matter where I was closed, okay? But I began to ask myself questions, and it started with this structure right here that you're looking at. I started to say, wait a minute, something has never made sense about a lot of this stuff. Even as a child, it didn't make sense to me. Why do I walk among these amazing tall like columns and these marble floors and these amazing structures? Why is this here? Why is it here? And why don't they make more of them? Why don't modern people know how to make something like this? And you know, when you ask questions and you have an innocent heart, you're asking, you get shut down and you get reprogrammed, maybe not to ask that question because maybe it sounds stupid, you know? But you know, in your, what is it? You know within you that something is out of place. And these beautiful structures, if you grew up in a city that has many of these structures, they have been repurposed because they could never have been created for the things that they're being used for. And I'll talk about that a little bit, okay? They could not possibly have been created for some of these mundane, very 3D. I don't know what you want to say. Very, I don't know. It just not, it doesn't, I guess, merge with the glory of these buildings and the people. Who are the people that made these buildings with their hands? What? Because the thing about this, and I told you, you're welcome to put your tinfoil hats on. This will be a tinfoil hat moment right here. I want to say that I have tried in earnest to find pictures, documentation of the construction process for a lot of these buildings. And I have run into some very odd things, down to the way they describe these buildings. Many of these buildings started to, I guess, be so-called constructed and built around the time in the 1800s when they had these world exhibitions, okay? So does anybody, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the World's Fair. You heard a little bit about it, but it wasn't like in school they really taught us much about the World's Fair. But the World's Fair around the time of the 1800s, like 1850s to 60s and up, and even into the early 1900s. And everybody, I want you to correct me again. I am new at this, okay? But from what I'm understanding, these World Fairs were a way to kind of cloak what they were doing. And I mean, I hope I describe this is as best as I understand it, okay? So bear with me. Okay, there was, you know how we hear a reset, a reset? Well, from what I understand, we've already gone through a reset, okay? We've gone through a reset. And that is why we see the old world and the new world clashing, because these structures, this right here was supposedly made for the World Fair, just for an event that was temporary, and a lot of them were going to be taken down. And like we're learning with the cabal and their narratives, they don't make sense. Once you wake up to things and start to question, the narrative doesn't make sense. Why would you take down a structure like this after a World's Fair? And to my understanding, America wasn't rolling in finances to just do something so frivolous, right? To just spend all this money to build these structures to take them down. And if you look up a lot of these structures from the 1800s that were attached to the World's Fairs, they will tell you that these are facades, that they were created using plaster and all of these kind of lower end materials, okay? And if you look at this, does this look like it's made with plaster? Does this look like a Potemkin village to you? I mean, this is the level of audacity that these world controllers use on our psyche. And they have studied this so well, and they cast their spells. But they have gone out of their way to say that the structures were just temporary. And there have been many mysterious fires, many just they have let them go into, basically it's decay. It's, what is it called? This is a dereliction of duty to be a good steward. Okay. So now it's starting to make sense to my mind why they have a contempt for this old world architecture. It is a strange thing. They will play lip service out of their mouth and say, oh, we're part of the historical, preservation, and we're doing all these things, but they only preserve certain things. They let other structures fall into decay. And if it weren't for people that understand the importance of history, they have gone and fought for a lot of these structures to be renovated, to not be left to just decay. And I can remember in Atlanta, the Fox Theater went into disrepair. Now, this theater is unbelievable for anybody who's ever visited Atlanta. And it took a group of citizens to really come to the aid of the Fox Theater, and they were able to save the Fox Theater. But a lot of you live in cities, and as I'm saying this, I know that it's resonating with you because it's supposed to resonate with us, okay? We're supposed to have these exchanges. I know if you live in a city, not even here in America, you could live in Europe as well and other places. I know that you have felt the same way, that these old world architectural, beautiful like structures, you have wondered, why did this architecture stop being built? Why? Is it about money? Is it about money only? How did we have the money to build them? And why is it that you could see a structure like this, you could go somewhere else in the world and see the same exact structure? Well, the narrative is, of course, that they use these architectural different designs, right? You all are saying that it's Hellenistic, it's Greek, it's Roman, it's this. So are we to believe that these structures, you could go to Cuba and see things like this? The University of Havana looks similar. I mean, not just like it, but I'm saying it looks like it was made by the same people, is what I'm saying. You can go to Paris, you can go to England, you can go anywhere on this globe. You can go to any city in America. You can go to Minneapolis and you could see structures like this. You could go to Detroit. You could go to Baltimore. Of course, Washington, D.C. You could go anywhere and see these things. And you have wondered, haven't you, why? What is going on right now? Why? Well, we were too busy. And again, when you question things, there's a subtle way of shutting you down, right? Before this information started to blossom, because thank God for the internet. Thank God for this technology that I know it can be used for evil, but we have to thank God that he gave this technology. He allowed it to get out to us, because technology is not new, by the way. We are not modern. We are not modern at all. Okay. And we have to come down from our high horse as we judge the old world. Because if you come to this subject matter with an open mind, you will be so blown away. If you haven't done this one here, I invite you to do the research on this. Okay. It is amazing. So these buildings, it is believed, and you may have an opinion, they were built, of course, to be used in so many ways in terms of technology and how it powered the old world. A lot of this is based on real science, okay? And free energy, we talk about, electricity and things like that. We talk about money, okay? Money is energy, everyone. And we've been down the rabbit hole of how they tricked us into their monetary system. Many of us came from collaborative groups. Collaboration was what we engaged in. We exchanged with each other things that were not material. It was love. It was maybe, I'm going to help you go pick your vegetables, okay? And then we're going to cook a meal together for our family. We didn't need money. We didn't need to get money for things like that. So if everybody has free energy, why do you need to go and invade anybody on the earth? You don't need to. You don't need wars. If everybody has energy, and again, they use money as an energy. It's an energetic thing. So we heard about the thing that happened in Jekyll Island, the trickery. So this is what they have done to us, and it's now coming to a head. It is crumbling, okay? Just like they wanted these structures to crumble, their whole house of cards is falling down, okay? And that's the hope I want to share, because I have just gotten a good boost, okay? I got a booster of hope just recently, okay? And I, again, want to thank you, Joseph O'Sullivan, the Irishman, okay? So let me go to the next slide, the art museum, okay? So yeah, we believe this was just built for the World's Fair. Yeah, right, Adrian. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, and it was just, oh yeah, this is just temporary structures, right? Just take them down. Yeah, okay. Nah, we're not falling for that anymore. So I want to go to something like this, okay? Now, this isn't in America, but I bring this to the screen because This is over in Ireland. If you're Irish, throw I don't know, what is it, a 4-leaf, 3-leaf clover? If you're Irish, drop some clovers in there. Let's see you. Show up. Who's Irish? Irish in the house. Throw us some 4-leaf clovers. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover that I never looked before. Uh-oh, the Irish are coming in, everybody. Incoming. Kate King. Hello, hello. Irish here. Raylene, of course, Raylene. Beautiful, right? Raylene here. Johnny Borealis. All right. Yes, yes. They're here. They're here. Yes, thank you. All right. So this is a structure in Ireland, everyone. Now, if you live anywhere in the world and you've seen things similar to this, and I could tell you one place that has casted spells on all of us for so long, right? It would be Disneyland, right? Disney World, Disneyland. These people, they try to do things, but it's fake. Okay, they're not creative. They have to rely on our creativity, but they had to tell stories and they had to get into our deep subconscious somehow. So stories are a good way to do it. But we think of things like this when we think of Disney, the castle at Disney. We got Emily here. Emily, there you go. Thank you. Look at that, Roxanne. Okay, representing. All right, so this is in Ireland. And watch this, everybody. Look at that. That's in Philadelphia, okay? That's in Philadelphia. Look at that. Would you tell me what you think about that? Hey, Tracy. All right, there we go. So there you are. We have a structure in Ireland, and then now we have a structure in Philadelphia, and to me, looks like the same kind of people built this. Put your tinfoil hat on if you need to, but hey, this is something tangible that your eyes see, my eyes see. You can't trick your eyes, right? We see something, and it looks like the technology is very similar to what they built things in Ireland. But again, these structures, we have been told, were built in the 1800s and early 1900s. Can you imagine that? Something's not right, okay? Something's not right here. So let me tell you about this structure. This is called the Eastern Penitentiary. All right. And this is in Philadelphia. It's pretty much in the heart of Philly. I'm going to read a little bit about the penitentiary. Okay. And we're going to talk about it. Let's see. The penitentiary. I had something open. You know me and my tabs. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Get a snack while your friend looks for these all these millions of. Okay, here it is. Bam. I got it. All right, everybody here, ready to go? We're going to talk about this structure right here. The Eastern Penitentiary. And this structure, it was abandoned. Okay, you can look it up on Abandoned America, Eastern State Penitentiary. All right. Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia is currently one of the city's best historical attractions, but also is a stellar model of how tourism can be used to preserve endangered sites and educate the public. Nearly 25 or 250,000 visitors tour this site yearly, and exhibits that explore the site's past through interviews with prisoners and guards share space with displays about prison reform and yearly art installations. There's even an immensely popular haunted house attraction in the fall. So I've never gone to this haunted house. Would you be brave enough to go into this haunted house? This is like a big deal, like, with the young people, young and old, young at heart, right? But this is right here. This is a spooky place to go into, a former penitentiary, okay? Yeah, I just never wanted to do that, okay? So anyway, that happens in the fall. It's easy to forget that the building was once in ruins and endangered, and to take for granted all the hard work that went into making it accessible to the public. When John Haviland was chosen to design Eastern State Penitentiary in 1821, everybody remember? The 1800s are very important, and I want to start doing a lot of deep dives into that decade, not decade, that century rather, sorry. But it was designed in 1821. The United States was looking for ways that its public institutions would be redefined. Haviland, who would go on to design rather a multitude of other prisons, including the old Essex prison in Newark, New Jersey, and thus become nicknamed the man who jailed America. That's not a legacy that sounds nice. The man who jailed America. Where's Kim Kardashian when you need her? We need you, Kim Kardashian, paging Kim Kardashian about prison reform. I think she's a lawyer now. Can someone fact check me? I think Kim is now officially a lawyer. Wow, people. And that goes it just fits in with what I'm going to be talking about when I get on my soapbox, okay, soon. Hello, Demoney honey, how are you? She is greeting us. So, okay, this amazing place is a jail, okay? So, this man, Javelin, what is it? It should be called Javelin. He's Haviland, John Haviland, opted to employ a unique hub and spoke design that was loosely conceived as a major overhaul to Bentham's panopticon model. 7 cell blocks radiated outward from a central hub. And while the outside was designed to look fearsome and imposing, the interior was meant to resemble a church. Did you hear that? It's, whoa. Okay, I want you to even park that right there. I'm going to come to something, but remember I said the interior was meant to resemble a church. The design became quite popular and was known as the Pennsylvania system, and was applied to prisons across the nation, including Holmesburg Prison in Philadelphia, which bears a striking resemblance to Eastern State. The word penitentiary, and that's what I want you all to think about. The word penitentiary. Do you know what that might mean, penitentiary? If you break down that word and you look at the etymology of penitentiary. Anybody know? Let's see, anybody out here? Any wordsmiths? Any word? Hey, Steph, she passed her many board exams. Here you are, America. Kim Kardashian is now an attorney. She has passed her many board exam. Okay. Wow, 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 wow. Look at that. Look at that. Shania, hello. Throw us some star forts, Jen. Listen, Shania, I'm just getting into this, girl. You're already, that's an advanced lesson. I got to take that lesson, but I do want to talk about the star forts, okay? That's going to be for another time when your sister really fully grasps, that knowledge. I'm just a babe. I'm just a babe. So let's see. Anybody know what penance? Okay. Jay Blair, how you doing? Penance. So what does penance mean? Penitence. Somebody, you said it looks like Vampire City. I know, right? Don't you think like Vlad will open the door like, hello, welcome. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Penitence. Okay, I'll go ahead and continue reading. Thanks for being so patient. Okay, so the word penitentiary stems from the word penitence. What is my mouth not working right now? Okay. Haviland's theory was that when kept in silence and no communication between prisoners, what does that sound like? 2020, right? Inmates would be forced to reflect on their misdeeds. Wow. So this sounds like a very like, woo. So by keeping people silent, no communication between yourselves, it would force you to reflect on your misdeeds. Wow. Oh boy, it says the eye of God slits in the ceiling. What? Were to encourage humility. And one theory is that the small doorways were meant to force prisoners to stoop as they entered their cells. When the prison opened in 1829, prisoners were taken to the cells with hoods over their heads and permitted to possess only a Bible. Cells had central heating and flush toilets, which was a massive upgrade from previous jails and prisons. And inmates were allowed to occupy themselves with labor. Oh, wasn't that nice? With labor. Free labor, thank you to the 14th Amendment, right? And I think Kanye tried to tell people about that, and all the black people that don't like him got mad, and they were when he tried to explain that, okay? I could be wrong, but that's my understanding too. Kanye is like a broken clock. He's right 2 times a day, okay? So all that every time he says something, sometimes he's given some red pills, okay? He does it in a crazy way, but I'm not going to knock him for red pilling people or trying to. But anyway, okay, so yeah, they were allowed to work. Oh, they really thought of everything. Though the lack of human interaction had predictably detrimental effects, you think, on the mental health of inmates. And by 1913, the idea of penitence and silence were officially scrapped. The prison became overcrowded as Philadelphia's population blossomed. And by the 1920s, 2,000 prisoners were kept in a space designed for 300. So I want to just stop there. And I want to also state that all of these buildings that were built, I want you to remember that the average population of most of these cities in America, I'm just questioning would they have had enough of a workforce that would have this type of skill set, okay, and strength to end. Weren't they pushing buggies and I don't know the technology? These were like colonial people. They had kind of simple tools. I didn't see like a whole lot of tools that would, do this kind of construction. I don't know. This is above my pay grade, but I'm just saying that it doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you? Tell me. So, okay, Eastern Penitentiary. What else do we have? Look at it. Would you think you were going to a penitentiary? Does anybody think that this building was designed to imprison people? Let me know. Yeah, horse and buggies. That's what they had. So I don't know. How do you bring the supplies over to the work site in horse and buggies? Because these are like stones and stuff, but they wanted us to believe again that these were Potemkin village type of things. They were made with plaster and Disney World type of construction so they could be taken down, right? So a lot of mysterious fires happen. Yeah, so I'm just saying, Mary is saying no way, right, Mary? It's not making a lot of sense. When you start to really break it down, then you say, wait a minute, something ain't right here. Something's just not adding up. So there you are, the front of this amazing architectural structure. So this is how it would look if you had a drone that you could do a little bit of aerial photography. This is how it was constructed. Okay, so they mentioned that hub in the middle, and then it radiated to the prisons, pods. I don't know. So yeah, Karen's not able to add up their new math either. This is why they're always changing math, okay? So they want everybody to be confused. It doesn't add up. Lots of fires, Tina. Lots of weird fires. Yes. So there you go. How long did it take to construct? You know what they're trying to have us to believe, Sonny, is that it took them maybe two years, even less. Like some of these world fairs, these amazing structures, like that crystal palace thing that had trees inside, they tried to say it just took like maybe 2-3 months. 2-3 months. Again, let us think about America and what was the population back then. It certainly wasn't what it is now. So I don't know, everyone. The narrative is getting shaky, very shaky. Hello, Teresita. Why such a huge place for how many prisoners exactly? These are the questions I wanted you to come with, okay? Because I'm asking them. Like I said, this has been a mind-blowing rabbit hole, but I knew that something wasn't right. We all knew it. That's why we resonate with each other, because we all knew something wasn't right. We just couldn't put our finger on it, right? So I'm just saying you are on the same side of the toast that I'm on, the buttery side, please. Okay, so look at this penitentiary, how it looks now. I mean, look at that construction. Oh my. So penance, or penance. How do you say it for my Catholics, if you're still even talking to me? I know I've not been very popular with the Catholics lately. They don't like, I don't know, they don't like it. And I'm sorry, but I can't stop talking about these things, okay? Catholic people, come on now. Okay, so let me look up penitence. Penitent. Okay, so penitent. Well, let's just see what the Webster says about penitence. Okay, it says that it's the feeling or expressing remorse for one's misdeeds or sins, to be contrite. Okay, so it's a feeling and expressing humble and regretful pain and sorrow. Repentant, that's where it comes from. So these structures, they're telling us, were built so people could have a self-reflection and be penitent, because it is a penitentiary, everybody. Hello. Yes, locked for life. Everything has intention. We have to ask, what was the intention of a building like this? Because I know that these people are so advanced when they know how to do this kind of design. I have a problem believing that they wanted to imprison people to make them repentant. So you can look at how spooky it is. Would you go in here for Halloween? Can you imagine? Oh my, look at that. You were born Catholic and you agree? Okay, I was born Catholic too. Technically, my dad's a Catholic and my mom transitioned to Catholic, and I was blessed, or what do you call it, baptized and all that. I've got pictures. Yes. But anyway, this is a pretty scary place to go for Halloween. I can't even imagine. My friends would go and they would just say, "Ooh, boy. Yeah, this is a real scary place." Now I want to go to Byberry. Okay, so for the Americans and for our international brothers and sisters, Byberry and other institutions like this, they started to pop up around the same time, okay? So Byberry was a what do you call them? Why can't I say this? An insane asylum. That's what an asylum. An insane asylum, okay? Where many of our Our family, they think that we probably belong in here. And yeah, so there you go. They want to reopen these things, I'm sure. So we had insane asylums, and this was a really big one outside of Philadelphia called Byberry. Now, when I was a kid, I remember the kids would tease each other. They would, when they would do the your mama this, your mama, they would say your mama was in Byberry. It was one of those things. So I don't know. You all had your insane asylum. So I'm sure the kids were mean and said mean things like that, right? Sanatorium. Yes, that's where you get your brain cleansed and bathed and washed, right? And lobotomies for everybody, right? Yes, I think that we're looking at lobotomies like maybe, of course they change their tactics a little bit. So the lobotomies are just not done where they do it physically, but they can do it in other ways. Okay. Right. Do you think I'm off? Do I need my tinfoil right now? But yeah, lobotomies can be chemically done as well and other things, right? Yes, human testing. There you are, Kate. You're my people. That's what they were doing at these places. Let's put our tinfoil hats on. They were warehousing people that didn't want to behave, right? A sanitarium. Yes, clean them up. Clean those brains. Now they don't have to do this because who was it? Ronald Reagan is credited with closing down the mental institutions, the insane asylums, right? And those people just came out into the streets, and we suddenly had a homelessness problem in America. I mean, when we look back and do the reverse engineering, it all makes sense what they did during their reset. You don't get another reset, Brandon. Okay. You guys already had your reset, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun, but it's over, Brandon. It's over. Your reset. Next time you hear Brandon talking about a reset, please laugh, okay? If you are so unfortunate to hear things like that, they don't get another one, okay? They squandered their reset. It's over. It's over. We're awake and we won't go to sleep. You can't put us in Byberry. We're not going. See, they can't force us into Byberry and places like that. They can't force you to turn your TV on to watch their Mockingbird mess, right? But yeah, Christine says you had Danvers Hospital in Massachusetts had many horrible stories. I'm sure these places were brutal. If you want to read about these things, it is unreal what they were doing to humanity. Angel's here. Hey, Angel, how are you? Love you. Glad you're here. So, yeah, we're not going to Byberry, Brandon. You get no more reset. No reset for you. Okay? So, let's go on to more. Look at Byberry if we had back then. If we had a drone to take pictures. Yes, it's definitely game over. Do 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 do. Bye. Bye, Brandon. Hey, Angel. I'm glad. Oh, MK Ultra. Yes, Sandy. They found better ways. They brought over Goebbels, right? Goebbels. Who's Goebbels? Do you all know? They brought Goebbels and his gang over. So they moved the type of ways they were doing this into different things, basically. Yes. So this is Byberry for you. And look at that, Byberry. I want you to look at the construction again, okay? Because I'm just saying, if you live in England, if you live in Ireland, if you live anywhere in this country, if you live in places in South America, Argentina, places like that, you will see this architecture. You'll even see this architecture in Havana, Cuba. You will see Baroque architecture. You'll see a combination of this style. For my architects, tell me what this is. Is this like, they gave names to it, but it's not It's not so. The Greeks and the Romans, I'm taking the credit away from them, but I'm just saying this style of architecture, right? We know that they didn't bring this architecture forward to imprison humans. They were much more advanced. They would not have done that. So you can see the cruelty that has happened, okay, in this world system, and it still continues. They don't learn, right? They are not able to be redeemed, a lot of them. So I'm just saying that this is the kind of stuff you would see. Imagine how many lives were destroyed because they were signed into these places. And we've heard of Francis Farmer and people like that. And even one of the Kennedy, wasn't one of the Kennedy women placed in, place like this? But you can just see what damage they were doing to people and their experiments behind these institutions. So here is Byberry now. And again, I want you to focus on the architecture, because does that make sense to have these sturdy structures and not repurpose them, but just let them go into disrepair? Does that make any sense? So I mean, I'm just saying they tell on themselves what they are all about. And so this is what it looks like inside Byberry. Look at that. Look at how they've let things just rot and decay, because this is their future home right here. I just want you all to know that's part of that hopium that I want to give you a booster. This is their future we're looking at. It is our past and it is their future. Is that amazing? Is that amazing? So, yes, they're on their way to places like this. This is the reality for people that do things to humanity. This is basically like, you could say, I don't know, we could put it, it's like, I don't know, this is, I don't know, what do you call it? Like symbolic, okay? It's symbolic of where they're going and what's in store, their future. They had it good while they were here for that little run. His time is short. Yeah, look at what he did. Look at him and his crew. Look at what they've done. So does this look like plaster things that are just put up temporarily? Are you starting to see the trick that's been played on us? Look at that. Who does that? That looks like some sturdy stuff to me. It doesn't look like stuff that just falls apart quickly. Got to really let entropy set in, right? Look at that. Pretty amazing. So this is what they've been up to. And I know everybody has stories like this. Everybody across it. I know America. I don't know what other countries are like in terms of, maintaining their old world structures. I know that, in Havana, they've let all of that amazing Baroque architecture just crumble. So Cuba had their amazing architecture. We were told stories, right, about who built this stuff. But you can go all over the world and see it. And the narrative doesn't make sense. Again, look at that. I want to tell you guys a story, okay? Story time. Okay, I went to work at a hospital in Philadelphia. In fact, I'm going to wait until I get to hold the story. I'll do it when I get there, but just know I'm going to tell you a story. Remind me if I get distracted. So this right here, everybody, we're going to go through this is the Jenny tour that you're on right now. We're going to go through the museum and we're going to look at artwork for a minute, okay? Please indulge me. This artwork right here is called Mary Magdalene, and guess what it is based on? Can anybody guess? Who are my art people? Who are you? Who are my little snobby art people out there? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. You're not snobby. You love art, Mickey. What do you think? Do you know about these Mary Magdalene pictures? Like, what is it based on? Can you imagine what this mood? You could kind of look at the mood and kind of, anybody want to guess? Throw it down there. Let me see who's paying attention. Anybody know what Mary Magdalene is up to here in this artwork? Come on, people. Are you sleeping? Are you paying attention? Are you here with me still? Okay, I'll help you, okay? To make it go by a little bit quicker. This is penance. This is penitence. This is penitentiary, okay? These paintings are based on penance. Mary Magdalene, you could look at her as basically the prodigal daughter, let's say. She was repenting for her lifestyle. For her lifestyle. She was giving it all up. If you look at the art descriptions of this particular set of paintings, it's done by many artists, okay, during what is that, the Impressionist era? You guys tell me what it is. I have it all jumbled up. But anyway, I believe a lot of that is also narrative that we can challenge, I'll say. I'm putting everything on the table with everything I've learned, even in art, okay? So yeah, she was a bad girl. You know how I said that pimps down? Well, pimps and hoes down, okay? Hoes are down. I know everybody wants to say, a few people want to say hoes are out here winning. No, they're not winning. It may look like they're winning, but hoes are down too. Okay, you will see the end of that ratchetness soon, okay? Pimps down, hoes down, okay? Can somebody put that in the chatmosphere? But anyway, you say it looks like Renaissance. Yes, the Renaissance era, I'll take that. It could be anything. We're going to call it anything. But this is supposed to be Mary Magdalene, and she is penitentiary. All right. Look at all of these. Is she not being very dramatic? And I think somebody did put in the chatmosphere that they were looking at a skull. Do you see that skull there? Yeah. So I just want to say, this is a very strange thing for Mary Magdalene. What is she up to? Is she working some arts? Some crafts? Anybody in the chatmosphere know? Is she working some arts and crafts that don't come from Michael's? What is going on, Mary Magdalene, in this artwork? Like I said, many different artists did a depiction of Mary Magdalene's penitence. She's giving up all of her, look at her worldly possessions, and she's picking up her cross. Look at that picture. Zone in, everybody. Look and see what's going on. Isn't that, you thought she was praying? Yeah, I think we all thought that. If you look it up, if you could go and Google it right now, go Google it so you could fact check me. If you look up Mary Magdalene and penitence, you'll see that it's tons of art, okay? So there you are. So if you go in their museums and you see these great works of art, here she is. Look at all the different depictions of her. And she's looking, I guess this is how you look, contrite and humbled, and she's penitent. She's thinking over her ways when she was out there in those streets. And she's contemplating. What did they say? They say, you know, in the penitentiary, you start to look at your life, right? And she's giving up her life. She's, you know, if you looked at her today, she'd be like a party girl, you know, maybe she'd be like a Beyonce or, you know, anybody like that. What's her name? I don't know. Name some other people she would be like. Look at her. Look at this artwork. What is it telling you? Because the different artists are saying that she's penitent. So I just wanted to bring this art. And I want to bring oh, it got a little dark there, but still she's got the same arts and crafts there. You see the alabaster, you see right, the little alabaster bottle, very expensive oils. And you see the skull and a cross. I don't know, I'm just saying. Interesting, right? If you've gone to museums, like, I used to think this was a pretty cool thing to do and go. What we're doing is we're reinforcing their system. They determine what's art. We didn't determine it, did we? Did anybody ask us what art is? We are told what art is, okay? We are being told. Am I right? Am I tinfoil hat? And okay, there you go, everybody. They just jumped the shark, because this is Mary Magdalene in the modern impression of Mary Magdalene. They just jumped the shark, everybody. This is what modern art has gone to. This looks like something that might be in Jeffrey Epstein's house, possibly, or maybe something in whose house might have this in it, okay? So do you see how they degenerate? Okay, this is another booster. Evil doesn't evolve. It doesn't go to a high and lofty place. What it does is it degenerates. Okay, it degenerates and it becomes degenerate. Thank you. That's who I was thinking. There you go. I won't say the name, but looks like some artwork he might have too. So they don't become better, they become worse. And anybody who is in my generation, the Gen Xers or the boomers, you know that quality has gone down. That's why a lot of this stuff isn't enjoyable anymore, because the quality sucks everywhere. Okay? This is what they've done with art. All you have to do is try to watch a television programming show on Netflix, a la Squid Games, a la You. Has anybody heard that series called You? So this is what they end up creating because they've run out of ideas. They are not inspired. They have to get that stuff from us, okay? That's why you're seeing repeats of all their entertainment. It's so corny now. They are making repeats of shows that weren't even good in their original thing, right? They have nothing new. Hunter Biden is an artist. I just read an article in something like, it was a serious magazine. They were talking about Hunter Biden and his art and how he is just shaking the art world. And he's talking like he's a real, like a real conscientious person, and it's changed him. And of course, he played on the heartstrings with the drug addiction thing. But yeah, this is where we are now. Hunter Biden is an artist, and this is Mary Magdalene's penitence. Isn't that crazy, Abby? So this is where they end up going. So that's why I want you all to be of good hope and good courage when you know that you are with God. And what do we say about God? God wins. If you look at the Bible, I will challenge you that we have been taught to look at it in a linear way. When I went down this rabbit hole, it finally dawned on me that it's possible that all the linear thinking that I've been programmed to have from being in church all my life maybe all of this stuff that they say is so horrible has already happened. I don't know. I'm putting on a tinfoil hat. Don't get mad at me. I'm saying it's possible. And I am starting to reevaluate some things, okay? That I believe, and this is opinion now, all opinion, I believe we're in the phase, if you're a Christian and you go by the Bible, which I know a lot of you will say it's all been messed with and everything, but this is where I am now. Okay, back to the biblical foundations of my faith. So there is a point in the revelation of how things would wind up. This system would wind up in this great clock, that dude who thought he was going to win against God, he gets kind of released for a little short time. They say a short time. Okay? That's where I think we are. You can challenge me, you can debate me. This is what I want. This is what I believe, everyone. Okay? So I'm just saying. But anyway, we went from that to this. We went from all that artwork to that. And, isn't it interesting that this camera was the technology? When they had the World's Fairs, they released technology like in a little dripping, and they only allowed that particular period to have all the really revolutionary technology. What we're allowed to have now is not a big jump. Okay, you could say the information age with the advent of the computer, that was really our biggest jump, because we're still driving cars that are pretty much not too much different. They're just computerized now and maybe whatever, but they're, nothing too exciting has happened with car technology. Am I right or am I wrong? And we have airplanes. They tried to, do the supersonic SST, Concorde, and Air Britain, British Airways, and they took that technology away. Well, they made it super duper expensive, but you could fly intercontinental pretty quickly, right? You could go from London to New York in 6 hours, or I don't know, that might be what it is anyway. No, you could do that in what was it? Anybody remember the SST, the Concorde? How fast was it to go from London to New York? Does anybody know? But all that to say that the technology was basically automobile and automized industrial things. And that's hence we had the Industrial Revolution, and we got to see the technology of automobiles. That was a big deal to get us away from the horse powered things. And we had photography. Now, photography, I love it. And I love images, but I want to say that this small cabal that wanted to control and reset things, they knew that they were going to need this technology right here, photography, because photography is one of the most powerful spells, because it can make you think you're seeing something that you're not, due to various things like Photoshop. Okay, let me stop my screen right now. And I want to share with you, thanks for being here. It's going on kind of late. I might have to do a part 2. You might have to meet me tomorrow, because I don't want to make this too long, but I can pick back up where I'm leaving off. But I want to show you something to let you know that basically photography, for all that it is worth, this has been the way that the cabal has been able to keep us in a spell. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard about these various channels, but they have some really great YouTube channels that it's not shady what they do. It actually is helpful, especially for young women, because we have heard that the internet has harmed so many young women, and we see depression going up because of these illusions that they cast to make people think that the Kardashians look the way that we see them right? Or that anybody looks the way that we would see them. Because if we were living in a truthful world, I wouldn't have makeup on, I wouldn't have, there would be no makeup, maybe, right? We wouldn't need to make up our faces. Hollywood actresses would just come barefaced, right? And be just honest with how they look. Okay. So if you ever want to see, or a young woman that needs to see this truth, this is a very good channel. Her name is Stephanie Lang. And what she does, I'm going to just play you a little piece of what she does to show you that these people do not look the way that we think they do. Okay. So bear with me as I set this up.
By advertising on YouTube, I catch the eye of my ideal
How's it
customers
going,
at the
everyone?
right time.
Thanks for joining me.
I
I
can
think I'm
connect
going to
with
do
someone
a
like-
part 2, okay?
I'm for sure going to end up with sweat patches.
Okay, so she has an accent. I think she's okay. So
Perfect.
I want
They
you to
still
see.
have tiny, big, thick lashes. You're like, girl, you weren't born. Like your skin would literally dry. Wrong with that.
But she breaks
Kendall
down
Jenner.
so that
these are
people
pictures of Kendall Jenner with makeup on.
will
As you can see, she
understand
is an
all of
absolute
the.
dark
Okay.
circles under her eyes that you wouldn't really see.
So
in the
this
filtered
is
pictures.
Kendall.
And I don't know about you guys, but I find dark circles really attractive.
And
Leaves her house.
this is Kylie without makeup. Kylie, it's so ironic. This is a person who sells makeup, okay? She's supposed to be a billionaire, but I just wanted you to see that she breaks it down in a way, like I said, it's not shady. She is just basically letting you know that this is not true. And so many young girls need to see these kind of things, okay? And she will go barefaced and show her face without makeup because she's doing it. You could tell she's a really sweet person and she's doing it out of her heart. She wants people to understand that this is just all smoke and mirrors, okay? I knew you guys were going to start with that. Hey, Angelique. I just laugh so hard when you guys start that one up. Oh boy. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Again, I will cut this short in a little bit because I don't want it to go too long. So again, the camera helped them to keep their spells on us. And I'm not going to get too conspiratorial, whatever that means. But okay, this is supposed to be a picture of the moon landing. I don't know how you feel about that. But, there are many people who have had a lot of interesting things to say about the moon landing. Okay, I don't know what you all think about it, but somebody asked a very obvious question and they said, well, who took the picture? Especially when they leave into the vessel, they leave and there's photography that's capturing them leaving the moon. So who stayed back to get the pictures or what? Angelique, can you help me? It's not making sense. And some people were even saying they break down everything about this. And yeah, this is probably... It hurts people like when they learned about Santa Claus and everything. This is kind of one of those red pills that hurts a little bit. Now, this is supposedly one of the first photographs developed. And you could see the guy. I don't know if he's doing is that the second veil, the hidden hand? But he's supposed to be the first guy to do like a selfie or something, right? And then you can see the architecture. It's something over in Europe. And as you can see, the architecture looks like anywhere old world, right? Anywhere. So yeah, I'm just thinking, look at these guys. They're playing around with photography. We're being told, but then who's taking the picture of him taking the picture? See, this is what I want to start questioning. When you look at things, you start to say, it's a lot of people that pose a lot. A lot of people that pose back then. Okay. You think that we're into the selfies and the taking the pictures. Yeah. It's like a lot of posing going on. Look, people were really into photography for this to be such a new technology. They seem pretty comfortable with it. They pose a lot. Look at this right here. Pretty interesting, right? Look at that. I just want to show a few faces of Americans. Posers, a lot of posing going on, you know? Right, Tina? It's kind of interesting. And you know how we heard the quote by Shakespeare that the world is a stage and different people, men and women, play their parts. They exit the stage. They may come back as another character. I don't know. What do you think about all that? But I'm just saying, like, this starts to make that really crystallize for me, because I would normally look at pictures like this and just look at them like for the beauty of it, you know, looking at all the type of garments that they're wearing. But now I'm looking at it like they're posing. It's like, look at the Native American. It's almost like it looks like cosplay. Now, don't get mad at me, anybody. I'm just saying it looks a little cosplay-y, because I don't know. I'm not knocking cultures, but I'm saying it's almost like somebody had to pose this person and put all the gear in their hand and really get all dressed up and come and take a picture. And I'm just saying now, everything's starting to hit me a little different. Does that make sense? Let me know. I'll go on. Oh, we got a guy with his hand. Is he reaching for his wallet? What's going on with that hand that he's hiding? I'm just asking. What do you think? Kate, do you see it? It's like interesting, right? Just, yeah, and the Mickey, thank you very much. These pictures are very clear for new technology, especially when you have to learn. I'm saying your learning curve. And look at how everything is, whoever took photography and you had to develop your pictures and you had to understand the manual part of the aperture and the lighting and everything, shadows, and they did beautiful photography for it to be so new. Yeah, right? I don't know. It's just really interesting. Look at that. And, you know, we're told that Black people were just so super poor. Everybody was a slave. And, you know, you could go back and look at pictures and you could see that some Black people did not have that as their experience. I'm just going to say that. I have a whole side of my family that, yeah, they didn't experience that. Okay. And that whole narrative is starting to fall apart. I won't get into it now, but we could do it for another time. There you are. Look at that Black lady over there in her fancy clothing. Does she look like somebody that's suffering? I'm just saying. Johnny, you say they had glam squads? You think they had glam squads? I'm just saying. You know, these are just images. I just wanted to, you know, show you. People didn't look so different, right? I mean, it almost looks very odd. Like if you look at those two little girls, they look kind of modern to me, but then, I mean, you could see that it's supposed to be in the 1800s or whatever, or maybe 1700s. But yeah, just looking at everything, look at how the native couple is posed and they have all of their gear, and it's just, I don't want to keep overusing interesting, but I don't know. What do you think? Does it look a little bit interesting? They're beautiful for sure. I love it. But it's just, you know, I wanted to just go through a few images, see what you thought. If you look at it with a new set of eyes, kind of a new perspective, they're posing. They're very comfortable with posing. And I don't know about you, like I've traveled a lot, and if I try to take pictures of people in other cultures, not everybody is real comfortable with having their picture taken. So I'm thinking it's a lot of people that are very comfortable with this technology. So I don't know. I could be just making such a big deal out of this. Look at that family. Nice, intact black family. Dad is there looking like the patriarch. Sorry, feminist. I used that word. A patriarch. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Wow, look at that. I think Star Wars, hello, Star Wars. This lady called and she wants her hairstyle back, Princess Leia. I don't think Princess Leia had anything on her. Are you catching what I'm throwing down? Okay, look at all these posed people. Does it look any different if you go scrolling down Instagram today and you start looking at posed people? Why is everyone posing? Why are they so comfortable with photography if it just came out at the World's Fair, which we are told that millions of people went to these world fairs? Did we have that much population to go to all these world fairs? And if they're on, like, I don't know. I just, how did they get the word out for everybody to come to these world fairs? I'm just saying, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Look at that. Kind of glamorous, huh? I'm not sure if they look like they're going through hard times. Do they look like they're going through hard times? I'm just asking. So I may stop it right here, because I'm going to pick back up tomorrow, okay? Because I'm not going to make this too long, okay? So let's see what you're saying. Yes, I want to talk about that too at some point. The World's Fairs had incubators where they were showing premature babies like as an exhibit. Is that strange? Where this was supposed to be to share the technology that was available. So I guess the incubators were part of that technology. Can somebody tell me what they think? But it was a weird thing. They had babies on display like it was a circus. Premature babies, everyone, right around that time of the World's Fairs. And there was also a very strange thing called orphan trains. Very strange, right? Orphan trains. And I now understand that my grandfather was one of those orphans. Yeah, we know nothing about him. He just showed up as an orphan to a woman who couldn't have children, and she was a doula. And the story gets changed so much in the family. I get that he was just left in a basket on the church steps. Then I get that he was birthed by the doula. A whole lot of stories are told. But I will stop here at Philadelphia's glory, old world glory. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in, even though it was late. Maybe I can start a live stream earlier. I want to finish up with this topic. Okay, I have a few more things I want to share, but I want to thank you all for joining. Tracy says, went to Spokane's World Fair in 1976. You did? Oh, wow. I wonder what that was like. Anti-gravity and floating in water, coincidence? Yeah. Good questions. Thank you, Angelique. I really love that you all here. This topic will never be finished. You're right, Dana. It goes into so many areas. And I want to talk about all this because I'm really like very energetic about this, if you can tell. I'm really excited. Hey, Fiery Nisa. Oh my God, thanks for being here. If I missed you in the comments, I'm going to be able to read your comments, okay? So I want to thank you for being. So Fiery Nisa says, I looked into both, Jen. Seems that the incubators were there as lifelines to save babies, no hospitals, all orphans, shipped all over the world. I want to know what the cataclysm was. I do too. Does anybody have any idea what the cataclysm was? Has anybody been able to put it in words? Thank you, Tracy. Oh, I love you all. Is it a good rabbit hole, Roxanne? Roxanne. Yes, I'm glad you enjoy it. Hey, PH Joy, you went to the 1988 one in Canada? Oh, wow. Let's see. Sentinel, good morning from Spain. Oh, I send you my best vibration. I send that back to you. Thank you, Sentinel. We've missed you. Thanks for joining from Spain. Oh, that's so wonderful. Cece, you like the show? Good, I'm glad. I hope you come back for the part 2, okay? So I just want to say thank you. It's an awesome rabbit hole. Yes, it is, isn't it? So I'll leave on this slide right here of Philadelphia, Old World, and you can look at this architecture because I want us to start looking at the architecture. They have wanted to keep us away from inquiring into who were the people that built these amazing structures. Who were they? And what were these structures designed for? Because the reset gave the evil ones a chance to come and do their ultimate and expose themselves. That's why we are speaking out, because as we keep speaking, we are exposing, we are glitching their whole program. They only survive if they can hide in the shadows, okay? The shadows. So they were able to monopolize everything with the Industrial Revolution, right? And they turned everybody into like a drone, a worker bee drone, right? And get you away from who you really are and your history and your connection. They sought to break all of that. And when they brought in the Industrial Revolution, which was just used so they could take the labor of men and women, because hence the women's suffrage and the feminist movement got the women to come out so they can steal your labor also. So they were stealing the labor of children, of immigrants, of men, women, anybody. Okay, prisoners. You heard me talk about the penitentiary. They let them work. Greetings, good brother. Thank you for being here. So as people were working and droning away, they were moving out of more egalitarian communities that were collaborative, that didn't rely on greedy money kind of stuff. They relied on each other, collaboration, bartering, whatever you want to call it, living like an Amish, right? Growing your own food, being self-sustaining. And so they come into the cities like Philadelphia and they repurposed all of this architecture so they could build their industrial system of enslavement. And they took the labor and stole the labor to enrich themselves and to further. That's when they started nation building. Remember I talked about that with the Susan Rice and the Condoleezza Rice, the Rice girls, right? And they started annexing countries. They started to chop them up and turn them against each other, right? You have India, Pakistan, now they're fighting each other where they were brothers and sisters, intermarrying, they were one people. No, they came in and started nation building all around that time. And that's when you had World War I, World War II, and hence where we are today. They got and infiltrated every institution. They created this type of politics. They had Tammany Hall going on in New York. All of the cheating, it's nothing new, everyone. All of the assassinations, I didn't realize they killed many presidents, everyone. JFK was not the first president assassinated, by the way. Okay? I'll just say a name, Jesuits. Jesuits, anyone? Yeah, we know, we see you. And so they've killed lots, they've poisoned lots of our presidents. They've done all kinds of things, okay, over this short time that they're in. This is their short season, okay? You know how Brandon said, a dark winter? That is their future, a dark, dark winter, okay? Back to the future, the old world. I want us to fall in love with this old world and learn about our history, right? It's not living in the past, but it's knowing where we came from, our real history. We're starting to get reconnected. We're starting to resonate with this. So these structures that they repurposed for their industrial system, they were not created for those purposes. Their original purposes were much higher. Okay, so you can look at all the spires and the antennas, and your imagination can just run. But I want you to get a booster of hope. If you have wondered where we are on the timeline, hey, the timeline is not linear. They want you to think it's linear. It's not. Okay? God wins. Sometimes you have to read the end and go to the beginning, right? You have to read from right to left. Okay? So I want you to be encouraged. And if you're feeling down about things and you're confused because so much is going on in the so-called truth community and this community, just know that you can look into this and get such a boost of hope, and you can start to really, you'll start to make it starts making sense. And like Joseph O'Sullivan said, this stuff is tangible. You can go and touch it. You can go feel this history. They have not been able to destroy it all. They've tried. They really tried. But they haven't won. And this is a testimony that they haven't won. Okay? So I just want to say that and just thank you for your support, for your love, for your prayers. And I will come back and finish this. I hope it'll be tomorrow. I don't know what time right now, but I want to pick back up because it's a lot more I want to talk about, okay? So take care and good night. Bye-bye. Let's see what you're saying in the comments. Excuse me. Stay away from petrified wood and mud floods, guys. Hey, the cold hard truth. Okay, thanks for that. Candace, meet. Merry Christmas. Love you, Jen and fam. Love you too, Candace. Thank you. Hey, John, we are at an awesome time right now. The truth will set us free. Thank you, John. That's right. Locked for life. Who took the picture of the moon of the first foot? Thank you. These are the questions that their narrative doesn't answer, right? Thank you, Rochelle. You're so sweet. Part 2. Roxanne. I hope you're here. All right, Jack the Knife. You're welcome. Thank you. End. The alert at the end of your life. Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. Karen. That's why they changed the timeline with the Gregorian calendar. They have put our timeline off. Yes, they don't want you to know what time it is. That's their, see, time is such a construct, and the enemies are bound by time. They know that their time is short, They're not going to be able to carry this out. It is falling apart. You can see it, like the examples I gave you. And I'll bring more examples tomorrow that we could talk about. Sometime the algorithm brings us good stuff. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, that's right. It works for us. You know, it backfires on them. They try to use all this against us, but it backfired. We're off between 400 to 1,000 years of added timeline. Interesting. I hope you come back, Fire Anissa. Tracy, don't fret those small things. Focus on the goal, God's purpose in us. Amen. All right. Well, I will see you soon. And I thank you. Look up the creator's calendar. Okay. Thank you. And if you have other good resources, drop them in the chatmosphere, because this is, like I said, a new rabbit hole for me. I'm so energetic and excited about it. And if you have good resources that you could point people in the direction of, because I know that Joseph, he really pointed me into some good directions, and I'll give you some, I'll put it in the description, okay? Some of the things that he pointed and other people have shared. So if you want to begin this research journey, I welcome you. I tell you, you will really be encouraged, because it'll just start making sense. It really will. That's right. That's right. Raylene, we got a lot to learn. Yes, we do. And that's okay, because we're going to learn it. It's our time. It's our appointed time to learn it. We do have a lot to learn, and I'm ready. Aren't you ready? It's so exciting. There's no place like home is a good one to start. Oh, really? Thank you, Tina. Wonderful. All right. Okay, I'll see you all for part 2. Thanks a lot. That's right, Jackknife. His time is short. It sure is. All right. I'll see you.